Hey yo, welcome to my channel. Did I not call it or did I not call it? I mean, quite honestly, I said Minea. It seems like he might be getting figured out. He's good for the first few innings, like the first four innings, pretty much. He was doing well, and then he got into a jam, and then boom. What else? You're up 3-1, 3-1, or 3-0, 3-0, and 3-1, and you still can't maintain that lead. If Minea and Senga can't get past the sixth inning or fifth inning for that matter, it's no purpose. I mean, like, and you can't blame Rogers yesterday. You can't blame Rogers because the guy has been the bullpen is being overutilized. The bullpen is being overutilized. I hate to say this, but like, you know what? The Mets are not going to make the playoffs. If the way things are going right now, the Mets are not going to play us. And you're going to say, oh well, the offense didn't kick in. Well, honestly, they did enough. Lindor did enough. Marte did enough. I mean, Lindor's red hot now. I mean, like he's back to being hot now. The granted problem is like they're not scoring over 6 runs, which I was hoping they would do, but not happening. But it's going to happen. But the problem is like all these mental mistakes and whatnot are still playing into the factor as well too within the organization. I mean, like honestly, Alonso should have just run him out from that bunt instead of going right to second base because like the bunt was on. You knew the bunt was going to be on. The guy was running at the moment the bunt was hit. Unless Mineo or Alonso were able to catch it as a pop out, it wasn't happening. So Alonso had enough room to run him out basically in first base to get that out, but he didn't. And because of that, it became man on first and second with no outs at that point. So that was the thing. That would have been one out. Probably Mineo could probably gotten out because the next issue, Mineo hits the batter, and I think Mineo kind of played into Mineo a little bit. So this is a thing where if these mental mistakes are going to happen, it's it's not going to work out well for the Mets. The Mets are not going to make the playoffs. This is I hate to say this, but this is eerily similar to 2001 and 2002 with the Mets with Bobby Valentine. They did well in 99 and 2000. Then Valentine in 2001, they had the shot, and then 2002 is pretty much what happened basically, where Valentine thought, hey, look, we have a lot of veterans on this team. They're too good. They should be able to resolve this out. I should step back and not have to handle anything. Mendoza's doing the exact same thing. He's like, you know what? These guys are good. They should be able to figure things out, and they should understand how to handle this. Problem is I think they need direction because Lindor and Soto are not what you would call your true captains. I hate to say this, but they're not true captains. Lindor should be pushing a lot of the players. Same thing with Soto as well too, but he's not, and that's the sad state we're in. Because why? It's just not working out right now at this point. I hate to say this, but like look for the end of season. If the Mets don't make the wild card, if the Mets don't make the playoff at all this year, if the Mets don't make the playoff at all this year, look for them to fire Mendoza. Mendoza will be fired. I hate to say this, but Epler, as a GM, some of his draft picks are coming into play, and everyone's assuming Stearns is the reason why. But in reality, is we're only going to find out with Stearns after this year and last year's draft picks if they come up and start producing. But Sprout and McLean, they're pretty much Epler's boys. Let's be honest about that. Similar to Vientos and Batty and such. But in any case, I think the Mets should have kept Epler because I think he could have probably built him up even to be better at this point. But I mean, when Epler first came on board, remember he did sign second. Everyone was all happy about it. I thought it was a case of a good signing for a back of the rotation or middle rotation of the guy at that time. But now the injury happens, boom, whatever it is. I think Stearns is so full of himself now that he can pick out a litter of any of the uh, throwaway pitchers and bring them to the Mets, and like they'll rejuvenate their career at cost. Reality is that's not happening anymore, and I think problem is like pitchers that had those issues by change of scenery, you would figure it would have occurred, but it's not. I mean, Manea, yeah, and Holmes is actually doing really well as well too, as well as Severino and such. But reality is it's not. I hate to say this, but Mets. I mean, it's good. It will be good to see what happens next year if Sprout and McLean and if Tenga as well too. Not Tenga. Forgot his name now. Um, yeah, I think it's Tenga. I forgot his name. But anyways, the other minor AAA player basically, not Benja, Benge, or I don't know how if you're Benj, the hitter. But I'm talking about the other pitcher basically. He was promoted from AA to AAA very quickly because he's being lights out, and that's actually one of Stearns's big draft pick. Sorry, apologies, but it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the year pulls up with the Mets, basically. Because if they can't do this, this is not. Like I said, Mendoza's not going to be here at the end of the year. I have a feeling they're going to fire Mendoza. Will they bring in Carlos Beltran at that point? I don't know. That's up to Cohen and Stearns at this point. But look for them to really rebuild the Mets scouting department as well as their analytics teams. I think I hate to say this, but like the Tampa Bay Rays have done it right per se, where their analytics team knows what to look for and to bring in the right personnel, but draft the right people as well as trade for the right prospects. I mean, granted, you don't have a player that stays that long, so that you don't have that loyalty with the player anymore because you don't. Well, not loyalty with the player, but more so that you don't have that fan favorite anymore because they'll go off to another team. I mean, that's the same thing with Alonso. But quite honestly, from my perspective, these players should be interchangeable at this point. Let's be honest. These players should be interchangeable. I mean, like it'd be great if you can have a player that stays to the duration of their, of their career with the organization. But reality is, these players should be interchangeable. If Alonso wants big money, he's kind of proving it, but at the same time, he's not because we don't want another Alfonso Soriano situation where like he sucks by the time he hits 35 or 34 for that matter. Like remember, some players when they hit a certain level, drop off. Soriano was one of those people, and let's be honest, Ryan Howard as well too. He was like up there, and then boom, a sudden cliff. But that was also part of the shift as well too. Let's be honest, that was part of the shift as well too. But yeah, I'm not sure what to say at this point from this perspective. Is it's just the fact that is like I think Epler made the right choice of signing Nimmo for the long term as much as he possibly could. Stearns doesn't believe that. Cohen, if it's the right person, that you have a generational talent, yeah, but we don't have that generational talent. I'm hoping McLean becomes that generational pitcher as well as Sprout and as well as give me a second. I forgot the kid's name. Jonah Tong. That's it. Tong, if he's doing the way he's pitching right now, I mean, he could probably be promoted to the majors by next year as well, too, by 2026 for next season. It'll be interesting to see. I would love to see Sprout come up, not this week, but next week, because I have a feeling what's going to happen is, let's be honest, Montas was a mistake. You might as well buy out his contract and send him off or DFA him. I hate to say it, but or DFA him, whatever it may be, but he's not going to work out. Bring up basically Sprout, let him pitch, see how he does. If he does really well, great. Then what you do is you put either Mineo or Senga to the bullpen. More likely than not, you probably put Senga into the bullpen and let him rebuild himself. Let him build the durability because right now he's not building that durability. And that confidence as well to it. That confidence is not there. Mineo, ideally you bring him back to the minors, but it's too late in the game. You need someone, and you're hoping that maybe he can go the full 4 innings at least. When you know he's at the fourth inning, all right, he's like, all right, get him out. Let's bring in the relievers at this point, or a long-term reliever. Holmes makes the classic. Holmes, yeah, I should say this. Holmes is the classic choice. He should be the long-term reliever. He reminds me too much of a Seth Lugo, which ironically enough, he's doing really well. Mets could have brought him back. They didn't because, yeah, I mean, he harbors all those ill wills to the Mets. But I understand it's a give or take. But this is, I mean, let's be honest. This is the Nationals. Bottom of the dwellers within their division. They should have swept them. They should have swept the Braves last year as well too, but they didn't. And the problem is because of if this, I think the Mets have a losing record against sub 500 teams. And if that's the case, I don't know what to say or what to do, because honestly, this is a case where like these are teams that you should be beating outright and taking the series from them, or at least sweeping them for that matter, but they're not. I don't know if it's maybe overconfidence. I don't know. Mendoza, like I said, I think Mendoza's he's reminding me too much of a Bobby Valentine now, where he's like, you know what, you can kind of figure it out yourself. Reality is, I think he needs to get in there. He needs to be almost like a Dallas Green type of person. Now I know Dallas Green wasn't a great manager, but he brought the disciplines. Him and Buck Showalter, and I hate to say this, but maybe Buck Showalter should have been the manager, still being the manager. The fact that Stearns fired him, I don't know if it was Cohen, but most likely Cohen too. I think they probably fired him thinking it's like, okay, well, the next manager that comes in probably will bring him up, elevate the Mets, which Mendoza did anyways. But at the same time, he didn't, because I think what's going on is what happened last year. I think it was sort of a fluke. Let's be honest, some of it was a little of a fluke. Manea was kind of a fluke because he made an alteration to some of his delivery and some of his pitches, and that's why it changed. But now I think hitters are becoming accustomed to it now, and I think they know what to do at once it's the fourth inning. All they need to do is wait a couple of innings. Once they see after the first try, it's like, all right, this is how he's adjusted his pitch. We can now, the next time around, we can hit him. Similar to Senga. Senga, he might be just a one-trick pony, similar as well too. Honestly, I hate to say this, but he might be a one-trick pony, and that's why he might be better suited for the bullpen. I'm hoping McLean and Sprout, if he does come up, and Peterson, those will be your true anchors for the Mets for the full long season next year and the season beyond that too. But again, only time will tell. I'd love to see if the Mets can trade for Skeens, but we don't have any. Well, I mean, we do have a decent amount of prospects, but it's not enough to get what Pittsburgh wants. I have a feeling Pittsburgh's definitely going to build around Skeens and get some players to make sure that they're more competitive now. But with that, I'll leave it at that. Again, I challenge people to tell me, like, should Senga be a number one? Challenge me as Senga being a number one and Mania being a number one or number two. Like, basically, I ask you to challenge me or prove it to me that both Senga and Mania should be the front end rotation pitchers, not the back end or even bullpen pitchers, basically. Because I'm saying they should be bullpen pitchers right now until they prove otherwise. They need to prove themselves again, and they're not. And the sad part is it's not working out for them. They got to prove it. And if you guys still believe that they are the front end rotation pitchers, prove it to me. You got to prove me and show me numbers right now. Because right now, at this moment this year, after the All-Star break, they're not before their injuries. Nothing is showing otherwise. Senga's not showing otherwise, and it seems like every time after Senga gets injured, he just like goes downhill. And then once the full season comes back in again, he's doing really well in the beginning, and then knocks down at that, goes right down at that point. But again, I need to know. Let me know if you think I'm right or wrong. Please let me know in the comment section, and I would love to discuss about that. But with that, I'll leave it at that. Unfiltered, unedited, of course, always unrehearsed. Until next time.